I have I have actually just started working on sort of an XRP to Starknet sort of like bridging situation, and uh I'd like to incorporate Bitcoin in it in some way, right? So I haven't even really figured out how to say even really make the protocol any money. I haven't really worried about that aspect of it yet, but I'd like to sort of I already have this live on mainnet. I just got it up on mainnet yesterday. So I have the bridge already working, and I'd like to be able to sort of like package uh the Starknet 7 day uh 7 day yield on Argent and like sort of wrap it up with Bitcoin and XRP. And I don't really know the best way to sort of even start to make it happen. I mean, architect wise, engineering wise, any programming language, I know it. Hardware wise, I'm probably pretty up to speed. So any suggestions that you would have that would make sense for what this hackathon is, I would be able to start running and I would feel so happy. So whatever you got.
Is it more for Omar or for me?
I mean, I'm down. If you're from
Okay.
Starknet, you got I've graduated base camp, so I'm here for whatever suggestions you guys have,
Okay.
really.
So you are building a bridge, right? What's what's the need that's on one side of the bridge that the other side cannot fulfill and that would justify building a bridge?
The need I feel is XRP currently does not have access to any of the amenities that Starknet provides, right? So it's not
Okay.
exposed to the Starknet ecosystem.
Okay. And um, so you are targeting XRP users, right? Right.
That is the goal.
Which do you know which cryptographic curve they are using to sign stuff over there?
Do I know which what they're using to sign?
Yes.
Uh
So the so your user will experience XRP through a wallet, right? Do you know what this wallet has capabilities in terms of signing stuff? Because if you are working on a bridge with XRP, but it's valid for any type of other ecosystem, you add the constraint of that ecosystem, right? So you need to understand the constraint you are working with.
oh yeah, I already
And
have the
so,
constraints. I have the constraints set up. I have the bridge working on mainnet. I deployed the contract yesterday. I haven't gotten it verified on Voyager yet. But essentially what I have to do is I have to make like a private way for the XRP memo to link up with a Starknet account. And the one way that I was like mulling around doing this was possibly say generating, being like, oh, would you like us to create a Starknet wallet for you based on, so then they give their 6 digit memo pin. We maybe create them some derivative of Starknet wallet for them after they send the XRP. And then our SXRP, Starknet XRP gets created and then it gets locked we lock the XRP in on Coinbase or whatever the vault is. And then, but my thing is, how then do I start to? I'd like to incorporate Bitcoin in this as well. And obviously, on the privacy end, we could sort of make it so that people could have like these pirate maps that we could make. I could maybe like put together these like
So
small.
Johnny, we need to hurry up because there's other questions here. So what is the question
The
yeah, go
the
ahead.
question I get my question is how do I what is some hook that I could give to the would-be users of this besides exposing them to the 7 day yield that the Argent native staking actually provides, right? Because I basically I want to give them a way to hold on to their XRP and then also be able to use it on Starknet.
Okay,
And
all right.
that's what
so
I'm working on. And
okay,
any
so looks like the XRP wallet will give you SegP 256K1 curve. Okay, so from the same wallet, you could control a Starknet account, right? You don't need people to add Argent or Bravos, right? So from an XRP wallet, you can control a Starknet account, okay? So if you make sure of that, you can, in theory, I don't see any blocker to offer XRP wallet user a Starknet wallet. You might want them to know about it, or maybe not. So maybe you can just say that they control a vault, and the vault sits somewhere, and maybe they don't care, so you don't tell them. But behind the scene, you would deploy on their behalf a wallet on Starknet, and then with that wallet, obviously they are the signer on that wallet, right? But you can invite them to, just invest in Bitcoin or get yield on Bitcoin, whatever you want to name it. And then this would translate into a Starknet transaction that would buy whatever token on Starknet with Avenue or whatnot. And from that perspective, it would use your bridge. But yeah, I don't see any blocker to ship that type of product.
Perfect. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adrien. Next question, please.
Hey, Adrien. So I'm currently building a BTC primitive on Starknet that basically allows private execution. So just how Tornado Cash does private transfers. So with my app, you can basically interact with any smart contract, swap, DeFi protocol on Starknet using Bitcoin. So my question to you is that does the Bitcoin track want privacy primitives that make Bitcoin safer, or more of a composability primitives that make Bitcoin more useful?
I'm not sure I fully understood. Can you rephrase the question or put it in a different way, please?
So you got what I'm building, right?
Okay. Private execution. I'm not sure how it. Can you be more technical?
So basically, you know how Tornado Cash works now.
Yes, Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash relies on snarks to make your to design a pool fixed sized. So you have to go with 1, 10, or 100 ETH, and then you participate into a pool. And the longer you get into a pool, the better your anonymity score is. And then you withdraw by generating a proof that you deposited, and then you get your ETH back wherever you want, right?
Yeah. So I am basically kind of implementing that on a private execution level. So your shielded Bitcoin on our pool can interact with swap predictions on any Starknet protocol that is deployed, any Starknet contract that is deployed. That is what I'm trying.
Your shielded BTC is an ERC20?
Yeah. So only the relayer is shown to be interacting with the contract. And the relayer is, of course, going to be my address. So your address is not going to be visible at all on the chain, on the Explorer.
Okay.
So my question to you was that for the Bitcoin track specifically, is it better to go for the privacy route, or better to make Bitcoin more useful, or let's say a prediction market or something like that? Is this idea good for the Bitcoin track, or is it better to make something like prediction markets?
I think I can answer that question, Narco.
Okay.
So Bitcoin price is okay. Privacy, in the hackathon, you can participate in both tracks. So you will be automatically set up for both tracks, privacy and Bitcoin.
Okay. And specifically, is this a good idea to build?
Yes.
Does Starknet need?
It is a good idea. It's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I think it's worth making. Yeah. Thank you, Argo. Okay. Thank you, Adrien. Next question, please. Also, if you want to ask them in the chat, that's also perfect. So next question. Come on, don't be shy. You can just. I have a couple questions in the backlog that people ask in Dora Hacks, but if you don't ask in 5 seconds, I will need to ask my own questions. Okay, got a question by Daniel here. Daniel is asking, well, I think you can see it, Adrien. Can you explain?
Yeah, I can see it.
Perfect.
So encrypted compute is tricky, huh? This is almost FHE or kind of FHE. We don't really have that yet. What you can do is more like ZK Passport. I don't know if you've heard of ZK Passport. So I used it, I used it recently for the Aztec TGE or Aztec, I don't know what. They use snarks. So in theory, you could verify snarks. I think it's gross 16. You can do that on Starknet. It takes some time, but you could do it. So if you want to go that path, I think that's very interesting. I think ZK Passport design is very sound. So yeah, dig into it. Currently, these guys they have work on the EVM side of things, but I don't see why. I don't see any issue with porting that product into Starknet. There are probably different ways to do it. I don't think there are wrong ways to do it. You can verify snarks onto Starknet natively. With libraries like Garaga, exactly. So yes, a similar type of product can be achieved. In my humble opinion, you shouldn't have any blocker. It's just that it can be tricky. These are fairly complex protocols. But yeah, for me, this is when it comes to proof of. So what it allows you is to prove, for example, that you own a passport issued from a specific country. So you will just prove that you have a passport issued, in my case, from France. But I don't reveal my name, I don't reveal my birthday, nothing else. I just prove that I have a passport from France. And so you can choose what you reveal, which is very powerful because you can reveal only your age, only your country, whatever. And then you can have, imagine whatever you want based on that use case. But the protocol itself is very, powerful. And then obviously, you could imagine apps on top of it, but building the protocol first is obviously a very good first step.
Perfect. Thank you, Adrien. Thank you, Daniel. So yes, check Garaga, please. And also I will send it to everyone because they were not ready yet, but we have some huge, big tutorials repos that you can check. For example, here is one. Oh, sorry, it's not this one. Forget this link. This is not the updated one. The updated one is this one. I will send it officially in Telegram, but basically it's a huge repo that uses Garaga already, so it teaches you how to use Garaga, like it's already set up. So if you, for example, feed it to your course or your AI, you will be able to use it immediately. So I think you can port ZK Passport, as Adrien mentioned, and if you want to do that, here this toolkit will be very useful for that. Particularly for setting up Garaga, which is sometimes non-trivial because all the versioning needs to be perfect, and you're talking about several different directories. So yes, check out that tutorial, fork it, give it a star, and yep. So this is alpha because I haven't shared this publicly yet. All right, next question. Next question here. Also remember that we will have Teddy. I don't remember exactly when is Teddy coming, but he will also be able to answer some privacy questions. If you want to come again, that's perfect. All right, next question. I see Pedro, you activated your camera. I don't know if you wanted to make a question. If someone doesn't ask in 10 seconds, I will ask the questions from Dora Hex.
I have one question about using of the ZK Passport you are showing us, and we can integrate this in your idea. Like I want to make a QIC, I can use the infra from ZK Passport to check the QIC.
So it doesn't really check KYC, right? Because KYC is a process in which you have to check a lot of information. ZK Passport scope is limited to the passport. When you do KYC, you usually need more than a passport. But if your KYC is only limited to a name or a nationality, then yes, you can use it to do KYC. You can use it on EVM or you can port it to Starknet. I think, yeah, both are valid, but yeah.
Right. I think there's a question in the chat by Sora. Maybe Sora, we can wait for. So we will have JY Jonathan from the Road team. He has a huge vision of the DeFi ecosystem. I mean, also Adrien, of course, but I think that question could be more set up for that AMA. So maybe we can wait. But if we don't have any more questions, we can ask Sora. So I'll wait for a couple minutes. There's a question.
There is one question by Sergio. Why Bitcoin? The main value. So the main value is that you don't really have to provide liquidity. The goal of Bitcoin is that it's supposed to be better money, right? So if your use case involves money, it's probably better to use Bitcoin than another currency. But if you think you know better money, just use your better money, right? You don't have to trust Bitcoiners, right? It's just that if you look at history, like the past 10 years, Bitcoin was a pretty good money. But again, I'm not here to convince you. So why Bitcoin is that because apparently the market says that it's a pretty good money, but you don't have to agree with me. So again, Bitcoin on Bitcoin chain is harder to use, right? I don't know if you have ever worked with Lightning or tried to integrate with Lightning. It's a nightmare, right? So I believe, and that using Bitcoin on Starknet is a lot nicer because we have account abstraction, because we have accounts and stuff like that. We have plenty of cryptographic tools that allow us to play to do better stuff on Starknet. Just even a simple payment app is probably nicer to do on Starknet than on Bitcoin, but that's it.
I think we have here a general question. Maybe you can read it, but if there's any...
Yeah. So the permissionless interest rate prediction market. A market could offer 3 months fix. Yeah.
In the meantime, while you read that, Johnny, I will answer your question. Is there a benefit not telling people we're using Starknet? I mean, the benefit is, for example, if you're interacting, I mean, do you need to tell people that you're using other chain? If you can spare them that, I think it's better, like for the UX, UI, not per se for Starknet, but for everything. Like maybe you prefer to just, this is as simple as just do this and that's it. And they don't need to know exactly where's the backend, right? So for example, your product is completely on chain, but if someone, for example, is using something that is targeting people in Web 2, they don't even need to know that you're using blockchain, right? So yeah, I think that is mainly UX.
Okay, I thank you, and thank you. I feel released now. I appreciate
that. No, it's not because of Starlet per se. All right. Okay.
Yeah, regarding the DeFi question, I mean, this is not related to Bitcoin. That's fine, but I think you are just playing with yield and stuff like that. That's all good. The issue is that you need to convince user. I don't think it's hard to build. I think it's really hard to market in the marketing sense. These type of products, interest rate swaps, are usually only banks deal with that. A few corporates will buy them from the banks, but market making these type of products is really hard and usually complex and only done by banks. So except if you know market makers already in this product, it will be very tough. But yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I used to work on cross-currency interest rate swap when I was working in TradFi. Yeah, it works. It's there. People need it. Corporates, international corporation who have contracts in multiple currencies, they want to take down that risk. So yeah, the product is as market fit, but I was working at a bank. I was not working in DeFi, so I think it will be a bit tougher in DeFi, but it can work. I think it has benefit of existing.
Amazing, amazing. All right, so you got it there, Saura. Also, if you want, just while you ask more questions in the chat, for example, remember that we will have more AMAs, which I recommend you to come. For example, if you're interested in Bitcoin side, we will also have Jonathan Chang, JY, we call him like that, from the growth team. He's very good at the strategy in Bitcoin related stuff and privacy, so I think it's something also worth coming to. Also, we'll have Teddy, focus a lot on privacy, but again, you can ask questions around anything, prediction markets, Bitcoin, etc. So we'll have other, and actually after this, we'll have immediately another AMA with Richard, which can help you more in the technical side. And he has a huge vision on what is coming in crypto as well. So yes. Any other questions here, or you have 10 seconds? 8, 6, 4. Okay, no more questions here. I will ask one of the questions from Dora Hex. So, Adrien, one of the ideas that are in the landing page is about so there's a couple ideas here: a BTC-backed CDP, mint stablecoins against BTC collateral. So the question is, how would you make this? Like, how can you envision this? Again, BTC-backed CDP, mint stablecoins against BTC collateral.
Yeah. So the product unfortunately has been shipped recently. It's called Uncap. It's based on Liquidity V2, and I'm not sure the code is open source though. But yeah, the idea is that you can mint stablecoin. I will send you the link in the Zoom chat. I haven't reviewed the code, but it's heavily inspired by Liquidity V2, which is the leader in CDP on the EVM world, which is huge in DeFi. So yeah, it works. The issue is that again, it's a slightly more complex product than Aave, but you should get slightly better yield as well if done correctly. I think this is very interesting. It's a nice primitive, but it's kind of a winner takes all type of market. I don't think there will be more than 2 CDPs on Starknet. It doesn't make sense to have more than 2 because you can't really be different. There is a very limited amount of parameters you can play with. But you should, if you want to build one, build one. It will be interesting. You will learn stuff, but most likely you will face heavy competition. So I tend to. So maybe your view is that you can do it better than Uncap. If you think so, go ahead. Find your edge. Find your what makes you different. If you don't, it will be most likely just to learn. But it's very interesting. It's a primitive that's really important because the stable coin that is created out of this protocol is not centrally issued like Circle and Tether and stuff like that. So no, in theory, you can make it so that no one can freeze it, which is a huge benefit, right? Because again, if you go back to DAI and Maker on EVM, it used to be that ETH was the main collateral for DAI, and that's great because ETH is permissionless. But when DAI was mostly collateralized by USDC, then it makes Circle kind of a proxy central emitter for DAI, which is the worst, and that's why DAI is almost dead now. So yeah, hope it helps.
Perfect. Okay, so this is better than, for example, borrowing from Besu. Let's say that I leave my WBTC collateral and then I borrow USDC.
It's different. So the goal it's a different risk that you are taking. It's not the same type of profile. Yeah.
All right. So there's a question by Daniel. I'm concerned about how to move around Bitcoin here.
You don't need Bitcoin to do. I mean, Bitcoin, when you do privacy preserving identification, Bitcoin is just an ERC20 that you apply transfer method on. Don't worry. Just take it as any other token. Not a problem.
And also, if you mean bridging Bitcoin, if necessary for someone else, you can use Atomic, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
I will show you also. So we also have another huge repo where you can see how to bridge Bitcoin from BTC from Bitcoin to a Starknet. So I will share that so you can use Garden, Atomic, Layer Swap, Near Intense, etc. So I will share that with you all, guys. It's not ready yet, but I will share it to you as soon as possible so you can also fork it, start it, and use it. So yeah, all right. Thank you very much. Please send more questions in Telegram. I can redirect them to Adrien, no worries. And come to the other AMAs. We have an AM right now happening right now. So see you there. And thank you very much, Adrien.
Yeah, anytime. Please, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Cool.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. See you guys. See you.